Once upon a time, there was a land called Fortnite Chapter 2. In this land lived several creatures roaming all over the land. Every creature was friends with each other. The land was very peaceful, and no one would ever ruin it. Until now.
An asteroid the size of a petal, containing a tadpole, crashed into the coral castle where the fish lived in peace. Prince of the Fish, Tico, found the tadpole and named him Kermit and raised him. He kept it a secret, fearing that the king was going to steal his beautiful tadpole. Once Tico realized that the frog had magic, dark magic, he stole what his father locked away for no one ever again. The Book of Dark Magic. Kermit was slowly becoming more powerful, with even more power at his disposal.
10 years later, the kingdom was still under his father's rule, and Tico was tired of waiting and made up a despicable plan to steal the throne. Right when the king was alone that night, he took the crown. Tico took his father and locked him away in his own prison, taking control of the kingdom. He sent the fish army to conquer the world.
In a kingdom far, far away is where we meet our heroes. Nelson is the king of blobs, looking over his vast kingdom, Slurpy Swamp, with his most trusted advisor, the wise Whooper the Wizard, who was also a wizard. He was sitting on his throne in the slurp tub when he was interrupted by a guard. The guard came running in. Bum, bum, bum.
There's someone at the door who wants to...
There's someone at the door who wants to speak with you. King Nelson responded with confusion. Who could it be at this hour? Why, it's Dwayne Bagok Johnson. He paused for a second and said, he looks scared. Bagok was a strong chicken, the size of a chicken, who was the leader of the chicken gang. He has won many wars and was rarely, when I tell you rarely scared. King Blob demanded, let him in at once. If he is scared, then we have danger coming our way.
Right when the guard cracked the door open, in came the chicken warrior, blasting the door clean off. Bagok! Yelled Bagok, which was his favorite word in his made-up language, which is how he got his nickname. What's the matter, Dwayne? said the king. My guard tells me you need to speak with me. Nelson tells the messenger to bring all the blobs to the thinking tub immediately. Now!
Clock, bop, bop, Bagok! My God, take God! Said Dwayne, scarcely being able to say it. Nelson tells the messenger to bring all the blobs to the thinking tub immediately. The messenger leaves and relays the message to each other, and every blob comes to join the king in the slurp tub. When they got there, they knew something was up. They were very surprised to see the lost King Bagok was in the palace.
Nelson speaks so that all the blobs could hear. Bagok's tribe has been attacked and the chicken tribe was destroyed. Some of his chickens have been captured and locked away in a prison. He has also told me that the leader of the attack was Prince Tico, who is wearing his father's crown with no sign of the king anywhere. I have called upon the great partner in war, Snickers, the corn, and I also called upon the wise Whooper the Wizard. They will both be a powerful asset to our army. Nelson went to end his speech. I ask you, my fellow blobs, do you seek peace or evil? Do you stand with me or against me? Do you want to defeat those who have caused harm to my fellow king, Bagak? My fellow blobs, do you stand with me?
Ah! Shouted the blobs in unison. During the cheering, Whooper sneaks up to King Blob and whispers to him, I must go. I will meet you at the next stop. Then he suddenly vanished. The cheering suddenly stopped, for they were hearing a honk honk from a car. The king stands from his throne. Snickers has arrived. The cheering got louder and louder as they greeted Snickers. After he got out of his car, walked straight towards King Nelson. Nelson rose to face his friend Snickers. They stare each other down. Then silence was broken. I am at your will, and I am ready to fight for you and your kingdom. They hugged, and the cheering resumed.
In the corner of the room, amidst all the commotion, Bagak sits, knowing the true might of the fish army and of the dark magic which the Master Kermit possesses. The battle is but already lost. After greeting Snickers, they discuss battle plans for their attack. They plan for their army to confront the fish at the military outpost of Sweaty Sands, while Bagak, Nelson, and Snickers seek into Coral Castle, the Fish Kingdom, to capture King Tico and end the war once and for all.
This is a good plan, says Snickers. Bagak! Bark, cluck, bark, said Bagak in agreement. Are you ready, sir? Said one of the king's lady lieutenants. Yes, let us march, said Nelson. Before leaving, the lady lieutenant asked, Sir, King Nelson, may I accompany you on your secret mission? What's your name? Said King Nelson. She started. Reuben. My name is Reuben. Well, Reuben, if it is your wish, you may join us. With that, they set out on their mission and began to march towards Sweaty Sands. They traveled through weeping woods, over the hills, around salty springs, and finally reached their destination.
They arrived on a hill right next to Sweaty Sands, so they could scope out the enemy. They set up camp for the night. Then King Blob spoke. We will camp here for the night.
Then King Blob spoke. We will camp here for the night. We will attack in the morning. Then at this moment is when Reuben left and went to report to Prince Tico. She told him,
They are near. Agag has told them about you. They are camping on the Sweaty Sands hill and are waiting to attack in the morning.
Then, at this moment, is when Reuben left. Master Kermit laughs. Perfect. Right on schedule. King Tico says to her, Good work, sister. Tomorrow in the battle that will be easily won, I will reveal to them I am Princess Ruby, the daughter of the king, and the same one who will bring their downfall. This does put a smile to my face, Ruby yells despicably.
In the morning, Nelson and the Blobs woke up early to the absence of Ruby. Where's Ruby? Wait, where's the Lady Lieutenant Ruby? Asked King Blob as he got out of his water mattress filled with Slurp. The guard states, She left last night after you fell asleep. Bagwooshgak, said Bagak immediately. Bagak is right. We must leave without her, announced the king.
As he scanned the fish kingdom, he realized that there weren't any fish in the kingdom. And the fish army at that instant arrived at their camp. They stood with armies face to face, the fish and the blob. The fish army rushed to the attack, but out of nowhere came a flash. When the smoke cleared, everyone saw who it was. It was Whooper the Wise! The blobs were wondering how the fish army knew where they were. The blobs moved to the opposite side of the camp. All the fish army came running towards them. Whooper stood in the middle of the battlefield, and then at that moment, separating the blob and the fish army, he stabbed his staff in the ground and yelled, "You shall not pass!"
The staff sent a blast all over the battlefield. It shot the fish in all directions. The blobs looked back and saw what had happened. They were cheerful. When they were immediately filled with grief as they realized that Whooper disappeared and a black scorch mark was left in his place. At that moment, King Tico and Master Kermit smiled as their soldiers had the blob surrounded.
Tico announced, "Surrender now, and we will spare your lives." Nelson yelled back, "You killed Whooper! Prepare to die." Master Kermit sent a beam of destruction right at Nelson and his warriors. Nelson thought to him, "Well, we had a great run. At least I'll be with Whooper." But the Kermit's blast didn't kill them. Master Kermit asked, "How is this possible? Who are you?" King Nelson responded, "We are the guardians of the Slurpy Swamp." And at that moment, he redirected the blast right towards Master Kermit. Kermit could not withstand the power and vanished. Tico was powerless without his secret weapon and cowered back to his kingdom.
King Blob restored peace to the land and returned the land to the owners. He freed the rightful king and all the chickens that were captured. Then he went back to his kingdom and shared the news. Nelson went and sat in his throne, staring at the ground. A hooded stranger came to him and asked him, "Why are you sad?" The king responded, "I just wish Whooper was here to see our victory." The stranger stated, "He is." Then the stranger took off his hood and revealed to King Nelson that he was, indeed, Whooper. The king ran up to him and gave him a big hug, then asked, "How did you survive?" Whooper then declared, "A magician never reveals his secrets." At that, they lived happily ever after.
The end.